Right, welcome back to statistics. So this is another box and whiskers kind of a plot we're going to have. This is number 7. Okay, and there's several number 7, so our numbers are not going to be the same. So we're given a list of numbers, and this time they give us all of this stuff. Even though it looks like, oh, I'm going to have to take all this in my calculator, don't you dare take this in your calculator. Okay, that is a red herring. Okay, they don't want you to do that. Okay, so we're going to construct a box plot, including any outliers. Okay, so what we're going to have to do, they give us Q1, they give us Q3, and they give us the median, right? So what's going to happen here, I'm going to go to my little page here. So we need upper and lower bounds because we have to know where the outliers are going to be, okay? Somebody told us what the things were. Okay, they told us that Q3 was equal to, they told us that Q1 is equal to. Do I care about the median yet? I mean, eventually I will, but not right now. Okay, so Q3, that's 32. Okay, and Q1 is 12. Yeah, just getting it right over here. We don't care about the median just yet. We will eventually, but right now that's not a number desperately need. But one of the things we do need is something called IQR. That's interquartile range. Okay, and it is nothing more than Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so all I'm going to do is take whatever we found in Q3. Oh, that's 32 minus Q1. That's 12. That should be 32 minus, that should be 20. Okay, so my IQR is equal to 20. Okay, now to get my lower bound, because now we have to figure out like what's inbound and what's not bounds. Okay, I always like to use the thing when I play stickball back in the alley there. We're going to have Q1. This is the lower bound. Okay, Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Okay, always good to write down the formulas first. You'll have less of a chance of forgetting them. Right. So we're going to say Q1, that's 12. Okay, minus 1.5 times 20. And we'll see what we have. See what happens here. Okay. So here we go. We have 12 minus 1.5 times 20. It's going to be a negative. We end up with negative 18. Okay, so that's lower bound. If we have any numbers lower than negative 18, that will be out of bounds. But since we are talking about number of hazardous waste sites, right? The lowest number we have on here is 0. So on the lower side, on the left-hand side, there are no numbers that are out of bounds. Okay, everything. For the upper bound, okay, we want Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. And again, I recommend writing this down as much as possible. You'll memorize the formula, it won't be quite so bad. Q3 is 32, so we want 32 plus 1.5 times, what was my IQR again? It's times 20. So let's go ahead and type that into the calculator. Okay, so this is just like how we see it. Okay, don't forget your PEMDAS. Okay, it's a terrible way to lose points. It's a terrible way to get a question wrong. Don't make me grade you down because you didn't know that times comes before addition. Okay, so we're going to say 32. Okay, plus don't like Alex doing 32 times 1.5 times 20. Okay, we're just going to see what that is. So our upper bound, that is 62. Okay. So are there any numbers that I have that are over 62? There's quite a few, actually. Let me double check, make sure that I have this. 32 plus 1.5 times 20. So that's what we're going to write down. Okay, so let's go ahead and start filling. Let's see here. All right. So we have to do all of this. So Q3 is going to be this first box part, this first part on the box. That's going to be where Q3 is. Q1 is rather. Q1 is 12. So I'm going to take this guy here. I'm just going to press the button down. I'm just going to press the button down, and we're going to move this all the way down to where it says 12. Okay. I know the rest of it looks like a mess, but for now, let's just deal with it. Okay. Q3, that was 32. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on here. We're just going to scroll down to where it says 32. Okay, let it go. Okay, so that should be Q1 and Q3. Now, this line that's supposed to be in the middle, that is the median. So the median is 18. So what I'm going to do here is click this one. We're going to go down to where it says, I think it was 18, wasn't it? 18. Okay, so we're just double checking. That's 18. Lower bound, that looks like it's 12. And upper quartile Q3, that's 32. Okay. Now, this whisker, this T-shaped whisker, this goes to the lowest number that is in bounds. If it's out of bounds, it's a special case. We got to say, oh, there's a do-over or something. So the lowest number that was in bounds happens to be 0. Okay, so the lowest number that was all the way down, let's go ahead and grab this all the way down to 0. Okay. For the upper bound, okay, we have to go back and remember what this was, right? Our upper bound is 62. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find what's the biggest number I have that does not go over 62. Oh, it looks like 58 here. So we have 58. So we're going to go all the way up to 58. All right, so that's where our thing should look like. Now, we've got a couple of things that are out of bounds here, aren't we? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're playing kickball and like the next 5 kids kicked the ball into the road, first of all, stop playing with those kids. But secondly, like, now you got to do do-overs for 5 kids in a row. Got to flag them in special cases. We have to go ahead and do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my pencil here. So we have what? We have up to 58. Let's see, double check me. Okay. Nope, 62. Sorry, I lied to you. 62 is the biggest, 58 was the biggest number in bounds. Okay, so I didn't lie. So I need to mark 71, 77. I need to mark those. So we are going to mark 71. So here's 71. See, you can see it on the top there, right? 71. Now I want a 77. I want a 91. I want a 93. And I want 117. 117. So you can tell there's quite a few outliers that we have here. Like I said, that's fine. It just means that the next 5 kids up to bat at kickball kick the ball into the road. Don't play with that. But you know, if 10 kids did it, then so be it. They'd all be flagged as special cases, right? We have do-overs on all 10 of those kids. So however many we have, that's what we're kind of stuck with. Okay, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do there. Okay, and that's all they want us to do. So remember, the lower part of the box, that's Q1. The upper part of the box, that's Q3. The middle part of the box, that was the median. Okay, and then it extends all the way down to the biggest number that is inbound, sorry, the smallest number that is inbound. In this case, that's 0. And then the biggest number that is inbound, so that's 58 in this case. I know inbounds is a little bit bigger, but the biggest number we have, it's inbounds, is 58. And we have to mark the rest of these as special cases, and let's see what happens, okay? Be nice if this was like thing here. Oh, there we go. Check. I see it. Hey, look at that. We got the green check mark. So that is how you make a box and whiskers plot. They made this a lot easier. This used to be a much more difficult thing to do by hand. I don't think this is a terrible question because you have to memorize upper bound and lower bound. That is a problem, but knowing how to do all of this, these charts are very often used, like for salaries, these are very often used. So it's a good thing to be able to read these charts, okay, and make sure that we can those, okay. So we're going to go ahead. Do I have any more? Oh, the shape of this distribution. Do you see how this median is like slumped closer to the lower quartile? You see how this long line here, it's kind of like a tail with a lot of outliers. So that histogram, what's that histogram going to look like? Approximate it. That's going to look like we've got some stuff at the beginning here, and then we've got this long tail. We've got this stuff coming up all the way over here. Okay. So we have its tail. Okay, and now we've got the dinosaur here, legs, head, okay, and spiral dinosaur with two little hands. Okay, so this shape of this distribution, right, we have a very long right-handed tail. Okay, you don't have to draw the dinosaur when you're doing your problem. This helps you remember, that's great. If not, you can go ahead and make fun of it, that's fine. I just want you to be able to remember what's going on with it. So let me go back to where the heck is my problem. Hang it. There we go. So we're going to say this is a right tail, skewed right distribution because the tail is all the way over here on the right. So we'll check. All right, hey, look at that. And then we'll go on to the next video. Okay, so I hope that helped a little bit. It looks a little intimidating. Don't type all these numbers in the calculator. We don't need to do that. Okay, we barely used the calculator at all. And that's only because I didn't trust myself to do this arithmetic. Okay, so that's all you have to use the calculator for. If you didn't have a scientific calculator, right, you can use the same calculator you got for like out of a box of Cracker Jacks or an office supply store kind of. Okay, so you don't have to have a fancy calculator. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one. Another one. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.